So this year we finally saw the ordeal of the two Michaels come to an end with their release in September, but the relationship with China is still tense. Your government announced a diplomatic boycott to the Olympics in China, and the Chinese ambassador has warned unless Canada starts creating conditions for improving the relationship, there will be consequences. How do you respond to these threats?
Well, we've been very, very clear. That the human rights abuses by China, that the coercive diplomacy that had its perfect example and most disruptive example in the arrest of the two Michaels was unacceptable. And one of the things we did as a country was we didn't just go it alone. We leaned on neighbors, partners, allies around the world who also, in every meeting with the Chinese government, brought up the fact that those two Canadians who are arbitrarily detained should be sent home. And what we've seen around the world is like-minded countries coming together to say, this is not okay, and this isn't the way the world works, and putting pressure on the Chinese government to understand the rule of law, to respect the rule of law, and to abide by international norms. That's not something any country can do alone, but it is certainly something that all of us working together can demonstrate our unity, and that's what Canada's been focused on.
Do you fear for the safety of our athletes in the upcoming Beijing Olympics, given what happened to the two Michaels and also the diplomatic boycott?
I think, first of all, our athletes need to be focused on one thing and one thing only, which is representing Canada with all the extraordinary skill and ability they have, and we will be cheering them on massively. We will, of course, make sure that they are kept safe while they go there. That's something that's going to be in the mind of every country around the world as they send their kids and athletes to China. But we know that everyone is going to be working very hard to keep them safe and make sure that the Olympic Games are a resounding success, which, quite frankly, is something that obviously China wants as well.
So going back to the two Michaels, can you take us behind the scenes on the moment that you learned of their release?
Well, one of those moments I will never forget was standing on the tarmac in Calgary when they landed after almost 3 years of imprisonment. Being able to welcome them back to Canada, and to know that we were able to welcome them back to Canada because we had stood up for our values, because we had stood up for the rule of law, that we didn't bend in our principles, and we said, no, we're a country of the rule of law. We fulfill our extradition treaties with our allies, and we make sure we're standing up for Canadian citizens. And I think it was a moment where all Canadians who'd been so worried and so thinking about these two Canadians arbitrarily detained, we're really proud that we got to stand up for who we are as a country and get these Michaels home.
This is City News Everywhere.